So I feel like the greatest investment you can ever make is in yourself. Non-crypto, not real estate, not Forex, yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter what happens, you are going to be you for the rest of your life. And if you're not developing you, you're dying, you're going backwards, right? So investing in yourself is really just taking the time to pour into you. So that can, for me, it was just learning skills, right? And I feel like the best way to learn skills is to find people that are already really good at that. The biggest brand deal that I got was $25,000 for one reel.
For one reel?
One reel. Right? And they flew me out and was there for like literally 4 days. And to post one reel, they paid me $25K.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of In the Living Room podcast where we learn, laugh, and heal. And today is a special episode because before this ever started, I was in DR. I was in the water. I was feeling good. I was feeling like a traveler, right? like a man who does this. And I'm in the water with three amazing people. Emmaus, Nikki, and Kemoy Martin. And I'm in there going, yo, I think I'm going to really start this podcast, man.
Crazy.
Can I ask y'all a question? If I start a podcast, I know we live in different spaces. You guys are now in Miami. You guys would come out and get on an episode? And the response was, of course. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, I feel like he's been into 80 countries since that day. Right? I know 80 countries himself. He just came back from Israel. Got the test that I think we should all be privy to get. Turkey. I'm sorry, not Israel. I was in Israel. You see what I'm saying? I traveled a bit with I traveled a little bit.
It's on the list. I need to get to Israel.
You got to go to Israel. Yeah. Been recognized by Forbes. Went from 10,000 followers to 1 million followers. It felt like it happened within a year. The man that you probably liked on your feed, Mr. Kemoy Martin in the building. Clap it up for my guy one time.
It's an honor to be here, my brother. You know, I got so much love and respect for what you do. And it's crazy because so much time has gone since being on DR to this point and just seeing things come to fruition. It's really dope, man.
Nah, for sure,
bro.
I'm
honored to be here.
Bro, and honestly, here's what was the most fire part about this conversation. When I picked up my man from the airport, he's on his phone yeah, just give me a second, bro. I'm closing the deal with some people in Dubai. It was just this regular casual day-to-day, bro. So here's what I want to do, bro. I know the world is probably those who never heard your story. Kind of wanting to give them a scope of who this man is. And here's my first question.
Yeah.
7 years ago, 2017, let's just say. I'm going to give that a pivotal year for us.
Okay.
Did you see life being what it is today?
Yes and no.
What do you mean by that?
Yes, because I've always wanted what I have now. I always wanted to travel the world. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur and live life on my own terms. And I always saw that for myself. But I didn't see it happening the way that it's happening now. Right? I didn't know what path or vehicle per se it was going to be. But I always knew that I wanted to have this type of lifestyle, per se.
Why was travel in that, one of your main things? Because people I want to get rich and I want to play soccer or...
Yeah.
What was it about travel that really got your attention?
When I was an undergrad in college, I had studied abroad in Mexico, Oaxaca, Mexico. It was a little winter semester, and it's crazy because I remember because I was in Spanish class, and my teacher proposed this program to study abroad out there, and she said how much it costs, and I didn't have it, right? And my parents didn't have it, but I was so adamant about making it happen. I ended up doing all these different types of events and going on a tour pretty much with my frat, trying to come up with the money to go. I ended up scrapping up the money to go, join this program, and I got to study abroad out there. And that experience was really dope, man, because that was what really exposed me to traveling outside of my parents taking me to places around the world, right? But that exposed me to like an experience of like being in a different country, learning a different language, and just like being out there. It made me want to do more of that. And I said to myself, like, I don't know what I have to do, but I want to experience the world like a lot, right? Like I don't want to just go on vacations, right? Like I actually really want to make this like a big part of my life. So at that point, I knew I had to find a way to travel, like in a major way.
Fire.
Yeah.
And entrepreneurship, to piggyback that,
Yeah.
was that always something you wanted to be? Do you feel that, and the reason I asked this question,
Yeah.
I know you had a government job, and some people probably watching this content in the climate we're at today,
Yeah.
one income is not enough.
For sure.
We see your content, and I think it's extremely expensive to do what you do. So we want context on that. However, did you feel then that you needed to be an entrepreneur in order to fulfill that, to be able to travel the world and do that? Was entrepreneur something that you felt like you had to go embark?
I felt like I had to, right? Because after I graduated, I never found a job in my field, right? And I ended up working for the state government for Department of Social Services as a caseworker, right? My degree was in biology, but I'm working as a caseworker in social services, and like that don't pay a lot. So like federal government, people make, good amount, 6 figures, multiple 6 figures in the federal government. But in the state government side within Baltimore City, bro, I was making like less than $30,000 a year, right? And working 40, 50 hours a week. And the life that I knew that I wanted, it wasn't gonna happen being in that position. And I don't know, just the thought of being able to go out here and like build something, like it was beyond just like the money and like maybe flashy things, but it was just really like, damn, like discovering what you can be. Like, you know what I'm saying? Figuring out like all your potential and your gifts. Like, I don't know. I was really curious and like excited about like, if I'm gonna be on this earth, like I want to figure out all that I can be and do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to get to the end of my life and be like, what if I would have did this? Like, that thought just felt crazy to me. And like maybe I started getting those ideas from reading personal development books. It was really personal development, like reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, Think and Go Rich, Secrets to the Millionaire Mind, like reading these books and like seeing regular people like us, like, you know what I'm saying? Like living out their dreams. I'm like, yo, like we can all do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? That didn't make any sense to me. Like, so you mean to tell me someone regular can live their dreams if they just like go after it? Why don't I go after it? You know what I'm saying? Like, that didn't make any sense to me not to do. So like, I don't know. That's what really kind of like pushed me.
So breaking out of comfort zone, I was asked this question.
Yeah.
Prior to you becoming an entrepreneur, do you feel you was more of an introverted person?
Sure.
Sure. So I love the way you answer that, right?
Yeah.
Because that introverted person doesn't come across today. To me, at least. You my boy, you my man, so we see each other, we done traveled some places together, we turned up together, so I get that. But from what you do every day, content you post every day, you in the camera every single day.
Yeah.
What did that really take for you to say, I have to not be the identity I'm giving myself? Because I feel like introverts be introverted because they want to be.
Yeah.
You want to be that you don't want to talk to people. You want to be to
No,
yourself.
I don't think so.
Okay, talk to me.
I don't think so.
Talk to me because, go ahead.
I had to give up who I thought I was or what the label that people put on me, right? Like, I was known to be an introvert. Like, I wasn't the guy that was like talking loud or like always in the front of the rooms. Like, bro, like any opportunity to like speak publicly, I tried to avoid it, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? When it came to like school projects and like presenting in front of the room, give me the role where like I don't have to speak. I can like hand out the papers, you know what I'm saying? Like, give me the non-speaking role. Like, that was me. But it was like, yo, the first personal development book I ever read was Success Principles by Jack Canfield. And I read that like maybe like a few months before I quit my job back in 2013. And like one of the things he said in that book, he was like, listen, if you want to go out here and live your dreams and be an entrepreneur, you're going to have to be comfortable and become confident in public speaking and like putting yourself out there. Like, you're going to have to get comfortable with that. And like for me, that was extremely uncomfortable. And one of the things he recommended was a program or a class per se. It was called Toastmasters. It's a public speaking organization. You know what I'm saying? And this is around the time I was in network marketing where we met, right? And I remember Toastmasters from undergrad because like that was something that people would always invite you to. And then like public speaking was actually like a class that you had to pass as well in undergrad. So like I heard about Toastmasters and I would avoid it. But it's because Jack Canfield said it in the book, and he said, listen, if you want to live your dreams, you got to get comfortable putting yourself out there and speaking. So I started doing Toastmasters, and I was extremely coachable because he said, listen, if you do Toastmasters, like actually like participate. So like any opportunity to speak in front of the room, any type of like homework they gave, like I did it. You know what I'm saying? And I did it because I was so committed to being the best version of myself. I was willing to like be fearful and like be scared and just like going through it. Like I was like, it's gonna scare me, but I'm like, yo, like I don't want to get to the end of my life and let my fear hold me back, or just not being able to make all the money that I want to make or live the way that I want to live because I let me hold myself back. Like I can accept failing, but I can't accept like I didn't get here because of me. You feel what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm gonna just do what it takes. So like it was very uncomfortable, but every time I would speak, and even with like network marketing, I would get in front of the room and I would speak and I would just do it, and like it got a little bit less uncomfortable. I mean, even to now, like I'm still not like 100%. Like all the fear isn't gone. Like I still get a little fearful sometimes when I speak, especially like in huge like rooms, but it's nowhere near how it was before.
And that's a message right there, bro. Because I'm gonna be real with you, man. Like me on the other side, I never had that fear.
Yeah,
right?
100% no.
I never had that fear before, and I'm going, oh, y'all really scared, right? Because then how good you are, right? The work you've done, the process you've put in. It's like, I mean, if you're scared, cool, but I know you're gonna be good at it. And to watch, and here's what I'm trying to say. Then I look at areas in my life where I'm like, but where am I not good and I'm afraid? How do I borrow Kemoy's ability to say, even though I'm not good at it, I'm going to do it enough where you don't even believe the story. I know. As a matter of fact, the first time I met Kemoy, he said nothing. He said nothing. We was at a dinner. And the only thing you asked, so this was back in the day when I was somewhat popping. I'm popping right now.
Yeah, he's still popping.
And we had like a dinner. I came and spoke to the team, and there were some people that were engaging. And only thing Kemoy said was, "Why you don't eat chicken?" I was like, "Oh, I just changed my diet." He was like, "I was like, oh, cool. Why you guys?" He goes, "No, I don't eat chicken either." I was like, "What?" He was like, "That's it." He said, "That's it." I was like, "I feel you, my brother, but we engaged. And I say that to say I borrow when I see people like you, people that I think that I'm fearful of or think is going to be super challenging. I borrow that. Like, this guy was not talking.
Yeah. And listen, I don't know if y'all know, but like this guy, like he's an incredible speaker. Like when I used to see you in front of the room, and I'm like, nah, he's fire. And I'm like, I don't know if I can ever talk how he talks or speaks how he speaks, but like, yo, like it'll be dope to one day like be that comfortable to speak how this man is speaking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I ever told you that, but
that's I appreciate that, bro.
Speaker.
Appreciate that, bro. Yeah, I heard it. So book me for any engagements. You know what I'm saying? and I'll say, look, and I'll say this, bro. Also, not only the reason I asked that is because I see your skill set now, but I also see how you've pivoted in business over and over and over again. So about 2020, the world stops and you're doing Airbnb.
Yep.
Why Airbnb? And how did that start for you?
Yeah, so I got into the Airbnb business around 2017, and it was primarily because I needed something, right? Like you already know, so you and I, we were part of a network marketing business, and things happened with that business, and my income was affected, right? And a huge part of that income was passive and residual income. So you had the ability to make money in your sleep and have, time freedom per se. And I knew that I wanted to keep having that. And I had a good friend that was in the Airbnb business, my friend Nikki. And, it's just kind of one of those things where if like your close friend is making money doing something, it's like, yo, let me let me see what's up with it, right? So like I would ask her questions, and for me, I don't really take a long time. Like if I'm interested in something and if I know something's like working, like I'm gonna do it, right? So I end up like getting a property, seeing it wasn't too bad, wasn't too hard, got another property, ended up scaling to like 15 properties in Baltimore. And it was just a thing where it just wasn't hard. Like it was like you didn't have to buy the property. I was doing rental arbitrage, so I was able to like rent properties from owners, get their permission, and then put it on Airbnb and VRBO and different vacation rental, platforms, and just doing that and making money and having fun, right? And it was very similar to like what we were doing before, just being able to make money, not have to physically be somewhere, but still being able to travel.
Here's why I commend you though, and it was powerful because that in that time you made, I feel like that was the personal branding began. You was already a person that, you took a lot of great, like this is not new. Like you was already lit with the GoPro days. You could find documentation on the trips we were on. Like, yo, you just had a knack for like great content early.
Yeah.
But the branding started there.
Yep.
15 properties, and then you start a digital course on this, no?
Yep. So I started teaching, right? And a lot of times, within the digital product space and the course space, oftentimes there's a negative stigma, right? Because people feel like, oh, they're just creating courses just to make money, right? And a lot of people do, unfortunately, right? Some people are not even really experts in the thing that they're teaching, right? But for me, I was just doing the business and I had no intentions on creating a course until I had a good friend of mine call me up one day because I had like posted some videos on my stories about me furnishing a new property. And he was like, listen, bro, I need you to teach me this. Right. And I was like, well, I thought about creating a course. I was like, I don't know. He's like, listen, I need you to create this course. So I'm like, cool. Like for my guy, close friend, he's adamant. Let me at least create a resource for him. And while I'm creating it, I might as well tell other people about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did. And when I did that, in a very short period of time, I made some really good money. And it's so crazy because the money, the money came in so good where like the digital product money would be better than the actual money from the business. Which is crazy. So from there, I really understood the power of like monetizing your intellect and monetizing what you know. You know what I'm saying? And just how much, people are willing to pay to invest in themselves and learn from people that know something, So I started investing in myself to learn how to brand myself, how to position myself in the marketplace as someone that's an authority, right? And I just started scaling up the coaching business.
So when you say investing in yourself, what does that look like? What are you investing in to invest in yourself?
Yep. Well, I mean, investing into your mindset, right? So I feel like the greatest investment you can ever make is in yourself. Non-crypto, not real estate, not Forex, yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter what happens, you are going to be you for the rest of your life. And if you're not developing you're dying, you're going backwards, right? So investing in yourself is really just taking the time to pour into you. So for me, it was just learning skills, right? And I feel like the best way to learn skills is to find people that are already really good at that, And that's what I started looking for. And, I found a guy by the name of Neo that was like really killing it when it came to like digital marketing. And, I paid him money, told him to teach me everything that you know. Paid him a lot of money at the time for me. I paid him a lot of money to really tap in. And once I made that decision, man, it just took me to the next level.
And for context, right? Because we don't necessarily have to go into the dollar amounts.
Yeah.
Right? But because sometimes this is where the breakthrough happens, right?
Yeah.
Was that the biggest investment you have made on yourself prior to?
For sure. Multiple 5-figure investment in thyself. It was the biggest investment I ever made. I was extremely scared. I was nervous. But I was certain in me. But I was still nervous because I'd never spent that amount of money on anything. Even with college, it still never came directly out of my pocket because it was like student loans.
Right.
I never seen that large sum of money just leave my account. You know what I'm saying? But again, all those years of reading books and going to conferences and seminars, I already had an understanding of how important it was to invest in yourself. But it was a lot more than I've ever done. But I knew that it was time for something different.
Do you feel like that investment paid off?
1,000%. 1,000%. Because not only did I not, so it paid off in so many different ways. Number one, the information itself, I made that back in just multiple folds, right? A second thing was it taught me, when you really invest into yourself, like how much more you're willing to do, and your belief grows, right? Like when you invest multiple 5 figures in yourself, you perceive yourself as someone that's worth it on another level, if that makes sense, right? And it made it easier for me to invest myself in other areas. It kind of opened that door because it showed me what was possible. All right, cool. I invested in myself. This is what happened. Hey, you know what? Let me keep investing in myself. Why? Because the more I invest in myself, the more that I make. Right? So it's like, why would I stop?
And the reason I asked that question is because, for those who are tuning in here, and I believe this is a form of way of you educating yourself, right? But it's free still. Right. And you might hear the story and what these people are going through of what I've done. But when it comes to you, have you at least bought the book? Have you at least gone to the seminar? Have you at least invested in the course? Forget the stigma that the world. And here's what I realized, too. It's weird how quick our demo is quick to bash and put something down that can transform people.
Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Get rich quick. Like,
why would I do that if I don't know, bro? I'm gonna put this much. Yeah. Well, you're gonna do nothing on the free information and still blow that money,
right?
That you would have made back if you invested in a mentor, invested in a course, invested in the time.
Now, what I would say there is a negative connotation because there are scammers out there, right? Sure. There are people out there that say they're gonna teach things and you tap in with them, you pay the money, and like you don't actually get value. There's a lot of fluff out there for sure. So I don't want to negate the fact that there isn't. You know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of times when people hear that, because sometimes people don't even have personal experiences themselves. They heard something from a friend of a friend or saw something. Now everything's a scam. You know what I'm saying? It's so crazy. I forgot who said it, but it was powerful. They were like, I'd rather be gullible than be like, when someone
pessimist?
No, it's not pessimist. We'll rock with pessimists, right? But he was like, I'd rather be gullible than be a pessimist, right? Because at least if I'm gullible, like even if like I spend money and end up being a scam, whatever, but like if I'm gullible and open-minded, at some point I'm gonna be open-minded enough to come across something that's gonna change my life. But if I'm really closed-minded and like always think negative of something, I'm never gonna try. There are people that think everything's so much of a scam where they never try anything.
Word.
Never.
Right, like legit.
And they think and they feel like because they're playing it safe, they're good. Which is scary because they could be like, say they could be avoiding certain scams, but they can also get to a point where they never really reached their maximum potential because they never took the chance to learn something that could have changed your life.
I'm with you.
No,
it's honestly, and I think now, this is why this is so important. I'm so glad I got this man here. If you are not trying something and moving and shifting in the next 4 years, in these very important 4 years, y'all, come on. Because in the Airbnb space, right? You're there.
Yeah.
And then you pivot.
Yeah.
You start, what is it I see you start doing? So as a matter of fact, it's my recollection of my man.
Yeah.
I see you doing Airbnb, doing your thing. Then I see you get some exotic car.
Yeah.
All right, boy got a Lambo.
Yeah. And
I'm, if I'm not mistaken, you was renting the car and you also got in that kind of space. What was it like to make that transition? And was it worth it? Like, is there any of those steps from that step 1 to step 2 where like, I was doing well here.
Yeah. Like
if the main thing is working for what I hear is keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah.
Don't pivot too often, but I seen you pivot.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that transition.
So what I will say is, here's what I've learned, right? Getting that Lamborghini and like doing these different things. In the beginning of me getting that car and renting it, it was worth it. But then eventually, it started becoming a slight headache. And at that point, I started to realize, yeah, multiple streams of income is important. But multiple streams of income can also become multiple distractions, right? If you don't do it properly, right? I feel like the best way of like diversifying is really within what you're doing, right? Like case in point, let's just say, boom, you're podcasting, right? Well, another vertical could be you teaching podcasting, right? That's still all within the same umbrella, right? But like, boom, you're podcasting, but then you're also, I don't know, like you're flipping cars, but then you also selling on Amazon. And not to say that you can't do these different things, but why not try to diversify within what you're doing? And I think it's just going to be a lot easier, and it's just going to be it's going to be a lot more smooth and authentic, right? Because it's already under the same umbrella.
Makes sense.
So again, I've made a lot of money doing different things, but I've also made a lot of mistakes. I've been sidetracked. I've, actually got scammed. You know what I'm saying? Like, pursuing multiple streams of income, but it's part of the process.
You know what a perspective I think we don't hear a lot of people speak on?
What's that?
You went from doing $30,000 a year, so let's say multiple 6 figures in a year.
Yeah.
Right? When you now have access to this money, where does that put you where new opportunities come? Where are you like, is it fear-based where like, okay, I pivoted once or twice, I'm not doing this no more? Am I still gullible and burn through bigger amounts of money?
Yeah.
And when this happens, how do you process this? Like, how do you get back on your feet or say, okay, well, I'll pivot again?
Yeah. I feel like the biggest thing is reinvesting back into yourself, right? Because I've taken so many losses. I've made a lot of money. I've blew a lot of money to the point where it's like, all right, cool. Like with making money, like I really need to like master how to really multiply. Because there's like, see, you can make a lot of money, but like if you don't understand how to really like multiply it, making a lot of money means nothing. And like so many people, they focus on, yo, I want to make a lot of money. I want to make a lot of money, which is great, right? Like money, I'm not one of those people that's like money isn't everything. Like, no, money is extremely important, right? But if you don't understand what to do with money, someone can literally give you $1 million today and it will be gone by next year, if not sooner, if you don't know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen I blew a lot of money. So like for me, it's like, yo, listen, like I need to really like continue learning. That's going to be always my thing. I need to keep learning. And like, if I do want to invest my money, let me actually learn about that form of investing rather than just putting my money up or giving it to somebody and hoping they multiply it for me, because I've gone down that road. Because what happens is you start making a lot more money and like, you don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to put too much effort in these other ways, which is kind of how it's supposed to be. Because you're supposed to be like really like finding one stream of income, work, build that. And then you want to diversify with other ways where it's not taking too much of like your time and energy. But at the same time, you still want to learn enough about what you're investing in so that way people can't play with you and scam you, right? Because that happens all day long.
And to your point, that's why it's important if you diversify in the field you're in, you are very wary of how the industry works.
Exactly.
The in and outs of it.
And there's always verticals within your field. There's always different ways to diversify within what you're doing.
Okay. All right, so Kemoy, here's why I really want you. I got you here too, bro.
Oh.
I'm in at 13,800 followers on Instagram, bro.
Okay.
Forever. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm stuck here. And I would say today, now, I'm gonna go on record and say I am aware. This is a coaching moment.
Yep.
I am aware that the algorithms changes and there's some things that I'm accustomed to doing that I got to be open to doing differently, etc.
Yep.
Then you become a creature of habit, and then I really don't understand fully.
Yep.
Recently, I posted something, and the engagement on that was like
Yep.
Whoa, this got a lot of engagement. Well, I should just post more stuff like this.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's gonna stray away from the thing that I post majority of the time.
Yeah.
You went from 10,000, 3,000 followers to 1 million followers.
Yeah.
And talk to me about, you said this to me off camera, how emotionally you just detach yourself from the stuff you like posting
Yeah.
to doing what works.
Yeah.
How long did that really take? Because that's easier said than done.
Yeah. So here's the thing for me. A lot of people on social media today that you do see with like millions of followers and they're like big personalities, a lot of them, honestly, they got to that point because just being them, which is beautiful. That wasn't my story. Okay. Like I actually had to treat social media like a business. And like I actually really had to study it and figure out the science about how this whole thing works, because the algorithm used to piss me off, right? And like I wanted to actually make money on social media and I wanted to grow it because I felt like I was stuck at a certain follower count for a really long time, right? And I was like, yo, like this isn't growing. I'm putting out more content, but it's not growing. And it's like I feel like every time I push submit on a piece of content, I'm like hoping that the algorithm treats me good today. Like I didn't want that. I wanted to kind of be more confident and understanding of how this whole thing works. So I literally like started binging like books, going to seminars and conferences. I really invested into learning this stuff, right? And what I really figured out was kind of like what you said was like, number one, when I experienced my first viral video, I had to stop posting content that I thought was good, and I had to start posting content that my audience and my viewers think is good. And I have to become hyper aware of what they like, not just what I like. So I started to pay attention to the engagement, the comments, most importantly, the saves and the shares, right? Like those are two like piece of insights that I'll focus on the most. The saves and the shares, especially the shares. Because if you want to get a lot of new followers, right? It's not just about you posting a piece of content. It's not just about you posting a piece of content and like your family and friends like it. That's beautiful. But you want new followers. So you want content that not only that your friends and family are going to share to their, friends and people that you don't know, but you want content to where as though like the random person that doesn't even know you, they come across this video and they just share it to their stories. They share it to their besties, their friends, they boo, they bae. You want that. You want shareable content. That's what I learned. You want shareable content. That is literally the key to going viral, building fast and growing fast, or selling fast on social media. You want to create shareable content. So for me, I go through like kind of like a process, right? Like the first step is like the topic. The topic of my content has to be interesting to a lot of people. So literally, if I'm making a video and the topic isn't interesting to a lot of people, I'm not going to post it. I'm not even going to put in the effort to make the video. So I have to come up with an interesting topic. And then once I come up with an interesting topic, I need to have a good hook. Like the hook is literally the most important thing, right? Because even if I have a good topic / idea, I need a hook to slap in the beginning of this video.
Give me an example of a hook that you use on a video today.
Okay. So I had recently dropped a video about my trip to Ghana. And like the hook was like something along the line as, this is the country where most Black Americans, this is where most Black Americans are from and they don't even know it. It was like something along those lines. Why did I do that? See, I could have just made a video about Ghana, right? But during my time in Ghana and touring other West African countries, I learned that over 90% of Black Americans have roots in West Africa. Over 90%, right? So most don't know that, right? Now, also with me saying that, I know it's going to kind of ruffle little feathers and push little buttons. Like, what you mean? Like, I don't know that, right? And I see people in the comments like, what you mean they don't know that? Right. That's cool.
Right.
But I know the reality because most don't know that. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like one of those things where because I put most Black Americans are from here, people are going to be curious because curiosity is key. When people are curious, they pay attention. So people are going to be like, well, I want to see where this place is he's about to talk about. Most people don't know. Damn, am I most people? I need to see what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? So hooks. I could have put top things to do in Ghana. Here's the problem with people and that a lot of people don't know. People, when it comes to social media, our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. We're in a swipe culture, right? So when people are so used to seeing something, they just swipe. It could be good, it could be interesting. But when you're so used to seeing top things to do in New York, how often do you see that?
Very.
You see it every day.
I see it a lot.
Everybody posts top things to do in New York. So even if it's interesting, even though it could be good, a lot of people are going to swipe just because they're bored. And you know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm not going to put that. I'm going to find something different and unique. And here's the funny thing. I can still be talking about top things to do in New York. But that's not going to be my hook. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
So you can still share the same information, but you got to package it differently to get a lot of attention. So it's like, boom, I need an important topic. I need to have an interesting topic. Then I need to have a good hook. And then the pacing of the video, right? Whether it's like, I'm going to, make it faster. I'm going to make it slower. Either way, I understand that the pacing has to be at a certain pace because case in point, with a lot of my videos, I change the clips every 3 seconds. There's something different on the screen. Because I understand that, again, people have short attention spans, right? When people are watching one thing for too long, their mind starts wandering. It's not getting their attention. So I like to change things so that way their eyes are always like, there's something fresh in front of them, right? So, but you could be using that in so many different ways, but the pacing is important. And then a call to action. Something to where, so at the end of this video, I'm giving people some type of action to take. Because at the end of the day, people aren't going to take action unless you tell them to, right? And the more that you tell them to do something, they're more inclined that they're going to do that thing. So it could be something that's very simple. Comment below if you would travel here. Comment below what you think. Whatever it is, just say something. And I'm going to tell you something with call to actions. I use call to actions that I know that everyone can participate in. I'm not going to use a call to action that only a few people can actually participate in. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm not going to say, comment below how you felt about your time in Jamaica.
Right.
Just an example.
Right, because you don't know who's been there.
Because I don't know who's been there, and everyone hasn't been to Jamaica.
For sure.
But I'm going to say, but what would be better is comment below if you would go to Jamaica. Who can chime in on that? Everyone. Even the people that's been to Jamaica.
It was fire when I went.
And guess what? People love to say that they did something. So even if I ask if you would go to somewhere, you're going to say, I've been twice, 3 times, love it there. And if you've never been there, I would absolutely go. So more engagement, more people can participate. At the end of the day, it's all about viewership. It's about engagement. It's about making people feel included, the value, right? Like that's how you reach millions and millions of people.
That was amazing, bro. That right there was a masterclass right there for sure. That was big. I'm gonna look back at this episode and write those things down. So all right, let me give you this as you say that. So if you had pay attention, y'all. So if you had a podcast, so here's what I know. Speaking to you on this stuff, and I realized with podcast material today, if you post the same, zoom in head and it goes from here and it keeps going down. Like you can feel like this clip is the fire clip, but by the time you get to day 4, the numbers just start to decline. Sometimes I'll get a spike. So what would you post as a hook? Because if it's a short head, for example, I already know what clips are going to do well in this episode. Like off of what you said, I know what clips. However, it's a pod, right? So I'm going based off what you're saying. I won't necessarily have a hook, or do I create a hook before the reel starts?
So yes. So if I had a podcast,
Yes. Let me hear you.
what I would do is, based on who I'm interviewing, I would figure out some things in the marketplace that are already getting attention. What are some unique things? Just whatever. Like if I'm interviewing somebody that does real estate, I'm gonna research the most engaged, real estate subjects or matters, controversial things within the real estate, realm that's already getting a lot of attention. And I'm probably going to figure out a way to incorporate some of those things within the conversation. So that way, when I'm cutting up the clips, I can take headlines from those things that are already viral or that's already getting a lot of attention, boom, and I can slap it on those parts. That's probably what I would do.
Okay. Okay. I'm picking up what you put now.
Yeah.
So, okay, now when you are now living the lifestyle you're living right now, right? Is there a place that you have not gone? Mm-hmm. Let me rephrase this question. The places that you've been to, it being a place that you wanted to go for pleasure and then ends up being business. How often does that happen, or is that happening predetermined? Like you're gonna go to Turkey because, hey, I know I have a business meeting out there. I might as well make this content.
Yeah.
Or am I on a trip and because of what I've done on this trip, it turns into a meeting where I can probably do business with the people that I booked this through or anything like that?
Both. It can go both. But a lot of times, it's really just me going to places and just documenting my experience, and just figuring out the best way to package it for my audience for it to be the most value. But now I'm being a lot more conscious with the places that I am going to, and I'm trying to figure out, before I do go out there, who can I meet out there? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on out there? How can I potentially do business out there? I'm being more intentional about that now.
I guess this is a great follow-up question from everything that you gave me. It seems like a lot to do what you do, meaning you get to a place, how do you separate I'm present in the moment,
yeah,
I'm enjoying what I'm doing,
yeah,
but hold on, let me prop this camera because if you're alone, this is tripod work nonstop.
Yep.
If you're with somebody, it's like, hold on, before you say that, let me get this picture, let me get this video. For me, I'm the worst.
Yeah.
I realized the other day, you know what I don't have? Pictures of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob, send me a picture. I'm like, I got some, but I don't have often. How do we separate from you being present to then feeling like you're not in the moment because you have to capture so much moment?
Right.
Are you torn in those aspects is my first question. Mm-hmm. And how much time does it take to document the trip, post your videos, things like that?
So you go out there with a plan. Right, I always tell creators this because that's a very big thing that creators go through. Because a lot of times I see people go places and they're in the moment trying to figure out the best angles. What should I capture? And I always tell people, like, for me, I go out there with a plan. And the reason why I go to places with a plan is because I want to enjoy that place as much as possible. Right. So when I get to this landmark, I already know that I want this shot from this angle, boom, I can get that done in literally like 5 minutes, and I can spend the rest of the time enjoying it. Because I'm going out there with a plan and idea of exactly what I need. Because I'm beginning with the end in mind. I already know exactly how I'm going to package this thing. I know how I'm going to structure it. I know what videos or what angles I'm going to implement. I just need to go there, hold this, walk up on me like this, come to me like this, record like that, and I'm good. I already have it set out. So I'm not torn. So it's just a lot more enjoyable. I had to get to that place before. I've made the mistake of going places and I'm in the moment trying to figure it out. And I'd waste so much time doing that I wouldn't enjoy the place that I'm visiting. Mm-hmm. So definitely going out there with a plan will have you save a lot of time and enjoy the experience.
Yo, Kemoy, let me ask you a question, bro.
Talk to me.
This is important. Dominican food or Haitian food?
Damn.
Yeah.
Why you trying to cause a war? And there's already a big enough war with the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Why? Damn. Dominican food or Haitian food?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta give it to Haitian food.
And here's why I did this.
Yeah.
Because there was a point of your content. All right, I did that for satire, but you was also rating food.
Yeah.
Right? Like you went through that, and it wasn't long lived. I paid attention.
I was getting threats.
So if I'm getting threats in these DMs, they killing them right now. So this is what a moment I wanted to talk about. I wouldn't call that a success based off the content you have today. Right? Talk to me about going through that process, and then how long does it take for you to say, okay, it was getting engagement. Did you enjoy doing it? But when you realize it wasn't working, how quick are you to shelf the idea?
So me personally, I would consider it a success, right? Okay. I consider it a success. I was getting there was a lot of engagement. It was very controversial. And honestly, at that point, I realized how much passion people had for their country's food and how personal people took their country's food. I didn't know that. So I'm Jamaican, you know what I'm saying? But if somebody makes a joke about like, ha, 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 like, you know, our, I don't know, Asian chicken is better than y'all jerk chicken. Cool.
Right.
Like, that's what's up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you like that better than, I don't take that personal, but I realize a lot of the world does. So I didn't take, you know, I thought it was success. It got a lot of engagement, definitely a lot of shares, definitely went viral a lot. The reason why I guess you could say it was short-lived is because I have a particular diet, right? So I'm a pescatarian. So I don't eat chicken, I don't eat beef, I don't eat pork. And what I realized, a lot of the popular foods amongst different cultures, they're not really pescatarian friendly.
That's a fact.
So it just got to the point where it's like, it was hard for me to authentically try the most popular dishes amongst different countries because I don't eat that stuff, you know? And that's why like, I can never be a food creator, right? I can never be a food creator because it's like, unless like I'm a vegan food creator, but like, there's a lot of popular foods that I don't eat, right?
Yeah, so Adam is laughing in the back, right? Because every time he comes across a vegan item, why it's not vegan chicken, bro? It's don't call it chicken. There you go. And look, so this is why I wanted to use you as an example because I feel like I'm aware. All right, and people will go to your page now and miss that piece. I'm giving them live examples of when you did do different things. And it was working. Even when you spoke about, tell them about the story about your speakeasy content.
Yeah. So experimenting with content is so important, right? Like you had mentioned earlier, like the conversation we had, like you got to really, listen, at the end of the day, we have the ability to create whatever content that we want. It's our pages, cool. But if you're someone that says, hey, I want to grow this page fast. I want to build a big platform. I don't want to be stuck at a certain follower count. I want to get a lot of attention to my brand, my product, service, whatever. The biggest key is not getting emotionally attached to any piece of content, any format, or anything like that. Because again, the goal is to figure out what people like, not just what you like, right? So experimenting is very key. Very, very, very key, right? So if something works, cool, keep doing it. If it doesn't, let it go. And you gotta be fine with that, right? But the only way to figure out what works and what doesn't work is you have to experiment. But also too, the only way to experiment is to be consistent. Right? Because if you're not consistent, you're really not experimenting. Because it's just, if you're laying way too much, if you're literally posting once a month or once every couple months, it's hard to experiment. Right? So you got to be consistent. But a discovery that I made in the midst of me experimenting was posting me going to a speakeasy. And if you don't know what a speakeasy is, it's like a secret bar, right? Back in the day, they had these hidden bars, right? They call them speakeasies. So I had posted a video of me going to a speakeasy at this resort in Mexico. And to me, to be honest with you, I already had the video and I didn't think it was a big deal. I had posted on my stories a couple of months prior. but I had seen a random speakeasy video that went viral. So something in my mind said, hey, let me try posting this on my page. But I didn't even post it on the gram. I posted on TikTok. And at that point, I wasn't even really big on TikTok, and I didn't really care about TikTok. So I just said, let me just throw it on TikTok. Because whether it does good or bad, I don't care anyways. So I put it on TikTok. It was the first video that ever went viral on my TikTok page. Literally got like a million views, like damn near overnight. So I said, oh, this is crazy. And I'm reading all the comments, I'm seeing all the shares, the saves, and I said, wow, let me try it on the gram. Post it on my Instagram. Does numbers, goes viral. I said, this is crazy. So I said, you know what? Let me do more of this. Because I had a mentor tell me, when you see something's working, keep doing it until it's no longer working. So I literally went to like 50 plus speakeasies. So whenever I would travel somewhere, I would look for a speakeasy in that particular city, state, or country. And I just incorporated it into what I was already doing. And me doing that, I literally went from like 10,000 followers to like 100,000 followers in a very short window of time. Just me posting the speakeasies.
Crazy.
And it was crazy because I thought my other travel stuff was dope. Because the speakeasy content was getting more views than the regular travel content that I thought was dope. But I was like, oh, the engagement has come with the speakeasy. So let me double down on that. And that really, really just kind of like brought in the thought of, it's not about what you think is great. It's about what your audience think is great. And I just would really pay attention to that. And the growth just started just going to another level.
Love that, bro. A lot of great messages here, man. Top of the year, people getting this. Kemoy, so fulfillment in what you do, opposed to enjoying what you do. Where do you stand on that scale? Like what you're doing today, is it fulfilling you?
Yeah, for sure. I love what I do, right? Like, I love learning different pieces of information. Because here's my thing. When it comes to me creating content, I just don't pick up my phone or a camera and start recording. Like, I'm learning about the places I'm going. I'm learning about the people. I'm learning about just things around it. Because again, I'm always thinking about different ideas and hooks. And I always tell people, like, listen, if you want to come up with good hooks, like, learn, like, study it, right? Like, figure out different reasons why this is the way it is, or just go deeper into it, right? And you'll find different stories that are interesting. So, like, for me, I love the art of just learning and experiencing different places and meeting the people and picking different things up. And then also, too, and like wrapping it up and packaging it and giving it to the world. You know, like, I genuinely enjoy that.
So here's the question I have right now. If Kemoy was watching this when he was making $30,000 a year.
Yeah.
And there's someone right now that's going, I love to travel, but the way my bills are and the debt I'm in and the things I haven't paid and everything that you do seems to be quite expensive. How do I get to travel this year in the way that Kemoy does? Is that even possible?
Yeah. Well, number one, travel for me is it's not all leisure. It's a business. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I'm fortunate enough to get paid to travel. I also, I earn travel, and I feel like that's something that a lot of people can do, like utilizing travel reward cards, right? Finding the best credit cards that allows you to earn reward points, right? So whereas though you could take those cards and pay for your everyday expenses, right? Food, groceries, going out to eat, paying bills. So that way, as you're paying for these things, you're earning points and miles, right? Anybody can do this, right? And there are credit cards out there that have sign-up bonuses where you can get like 80,000 points, when you get this particular card, and you just have to spend maybe $4,000 within 3 months. It's maybe in the beginning that may sound like a lot. Like, what am I going to spend $3,000 on? But when you really break it down, well, I can actually use this to pay for my gas and electric. I can use it to pay for my groceries. And you start to realize, oh, like I can easily spend that because I'm spending that anyways. Only difference is now I can actually earn a free flight or a hotel doing this, right? So you can definitely earn it, right? And if you're someone that wants to be a creator and you want to get paid to create or paid to travel and do this, if that's something that you want to do, I'll say start in your backyard, right? Like a lot of times people always ask me like, yo, I want to be a content creator and get paid, but I don't got the money to travel. Start in your city. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to understand at the end of the day, if you want to get paid to be a creator and you want to build an audience, at the end of the day, it's about creating value. You know what I'm saying? And people are traveling to your city. No matter where you are in the world, people are traveling to your city. To you, it may feel like just your city. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I live here, no big deal. But there's literally people traveling to your place for business, family, or whatever, and they're always looking online. What are the top places to eat? What are the top things to do? And all these different things. And if you're someone that can literally position yourself as an expert, showing these different things, you can eventually grow a following and an audience and be a person of value. And guess what? Brands and businesses will eventually start to want to pay you and put their products and services and businesses on your platform. And then you can start saying, hey, I got more money. I can start traveling now, and you can take it to another level.
And you left off right where I wanted to go. Now, it being a business for you.
Yeah.
When did it officially become something where, travel agencies or hotels or things like that started looking at your content and said, hey, we want to do business with you. Now, what was that first deal like?
Yeah.
All right? Without having any management, probably never been here before.
Yep.
So now what are your deals more structured like?
Yeah. So it was like 2021, right? I had a good friend. Her name is Tanya. She's in the finance space, really dope, killing it, right? She was getting brand deals. I'm talking about like big brand deals, 6-figure brand deals, right? And I'm like, crazy. And she's like, yeah, Kemoy, you have a following. You're making this cool content. Like, you should be doing that too. And I said, I would love to, but I don't know where to start. She literally was like that seed, planted that seed. And I said, I need to figure this out. A few months later, there's this event called TravelCon, right? It's an event for travel content creators and to learn how to do that, like how to become a paid travel content creator and how to grow. So it's so crazy. I'm scrolling on Instagram and I see this girl. Her name is Terry, right? She's known as Terry the Trader. She's a big trader out here, right? So I see Terry at TravelCon. So I don't even know what TravelCon is. Right. I just see TravelCon.
Right. And
Terry tags them. And I click on it and I see what TravelCon's about. And I literally write under Terry's picture, I said, I should be there. I promise you. I said, I should be there, right?
Right.
And I think this was actually like a Friday. A Friday I seen her post this. She DMs me and she says, you should be here. I have a ticket for you. Come.
Nah.
Promise you. I said, 1 second. I look up flights. Right.
Right.
And I said, hey, I will be there tomorrow. You still got that ticket for me? She says, yes. So I got there like Saturday evening. So I missed like Saturday the full day. And, but there was like some mixers and events going on. So I met her at like one of the mixers going on. She introduces me to a dude named Jeff. That's my man today, but that was the first time I met him. Jeff was like, yo, bro, I see your content. Cause Terry had like showed him my page. I'm like, you should, good to meet you. Your content's dope. She tells me that you're trying to figure out how to get brand deals. I say, yeah, bro. He's like, listen, you should be killing it, bro. And he starts telling me all the money he's making with brand deals. And he's like, yeah, man, I got other people. They doing $500,000, $1 million in brand deals. And I'm like, what?
$500,000, $1 million brand deals is crazy.
Yes, bro. And I'm just like, this is crazy. It's like a whole new world to me. So the next day, I'm going to the event. There's like speakers that are like killing it, got millions of followers and subscribers. And there's also a room with different vendors and tourism boards. And in pretty much in that room, you have tourism boards talking to creators, and they're pretty much figuring out, hey, who are some creators that we can work with to bring to our destination and pay them to talk about our destination? And I had went to every single booth, pitching myself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm your guy.
I'm your guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never done a deal before, but I know I can create content. So one particular booth, it was Memphis Tourism Board. Never been to Memphis, but I was like, they gonna pay me out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pulling up to Memphis. You know what I'm saying? But so we were vibing. But the thing is, a lot of the contact exchanging, not really sure what's going to come to fruition, right? And I want to say it was like a month later, or maybe even a couple weeks later, Memphis hits me back and they're like, hey, we're interested in working with you on a Juneteenth campaign, right? So they want to fly me out to Memphis for Juneteenth weekend. They're going to pay me, right? Good amount of money. And it was like 3 days. And that was the first time I was invited by a brand or a company to pay me to travel. Actually, like pay me like in terms of a brand deal. And I was like, bet, you know? And I want to say like, it was like around like $6,000, like $6,500, if I'm not mistaken. And for me at that time, it was just like, oh,
3
you know
days.
What I'm saying? Pay for my flight, hotel, fly me out. And then after that experience, it kind of like, it was like I tasted blood. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I need more.
Right.
I need more. and I'll just continue putting myself out there, continue learning more about the social media thing. And I'll just continue, you know, position myself getting brand deals. And last year, the biggest brand deal that I got was $25,000 for one reel.
For one reel?
One reel. Right? And they flew me out and was there for like literally 4 days. And to post one reel, they paid me $25K.
And you was out there for 4 days.
Yeah.
Enjoying the stay.
Yeah.
Doing what you do already.
Doing what I do already.
Here's $25,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep the main thing the main.
But you know what's crazy? So like I know people that have gone more. You know what I'm saying? So
sure.
It's like one of those things where I feel like it's relative, right? To someone hearing 25,000, you're like, yo, that's a lot, that's a little. But there are people making 6-figure brand deals, right? Right. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah. So what's the goal here? So in the vertical, in the space that you have, the verticals that you have, because today you don't necessarily have a digital product, right? Like
I do.
I'm sorry.
I do.
Go ahead.
It's just not my focus.
Okay. That's all right. So that was just my point, right?
Yeah.
Like you knew what it could do in the digital space. You have this. What is Kemoy focusing on 2025? How does he structure? He's planning how to make his content. How did he plan out this year?
Yeah. So for me, you know, this year I want to continue the journey. I want to go to more places. I want to highlight more destinations. I want to go to more places that's like off the beaten path that not a lot of people talk about. I want to tell more of those stories, right? I want to continue giving value to my audience. Like I got every, like my DMs be flooded with people like, yo, like what to do here, what to do there. And honestly, I really feel like I have a duty to like give the people like what they want. You know what I'm saying? Right? Because I don't know, I just really enjoy this travel stuff. I really do. Like I just love it.
And you know, being a student, because it's funny because when you know somebody, I don't take away the homework. Like I literally went to your YouTube page before this happened and said, you know what? Let me just go on his YouTube too, because I know you're doing YouTube as well. And because of your YouTube video about Colombia, it's now where I'm like, you know what? I'll go to Colombia. Yeah. Prior to that video, I really didn't have any interest. So I will say that what you're doing works. Yeah. You do it in a great way, bro. It's exciting to see you do it. It's exciting when the people around you start sending you their own video of like, that's my man. I know that guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. I guess final questions, Kemoy, is if you could change anything about your process, what would that be?
I want to change your thing. I don't want to sound cliche, bro, but like...
I mean, everything I've done, like, there's nothing in this journey, in this pathway where you're like, all right, this moment here was somewhat unnecessary. I could have been a little smarter in this scenario right here.
For sure. I have a ton of those.
Right. But you wouldn't
For
change
sure.
it.
But like, I honestly wouldn't change it because it's like, I learned from it. It made me who I am. Like, it's because of certain situations. I know, and here's the thing. I always tell people, right? So here's an example, right? So let's just say you had a bad business deal, right? And maybe you lost $1,000, right? A couple $1,000. Well, make sure you learn from that experience, so that way, if you're put in a position, says maybe you're dealing with a deal that's a $100,000 deal. Well, because of your experience of that L, you'll know how to navigate with the when there's more at stake. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I wouldn't change anything, bro.
No, I respect it, and here's why I say that. You live your own life, bro, but we got a lens to it. Like I've seen you grow from the day I met you in the dinner to the man you are today.
Yeah.
This is important. Bob Proctor, rest in peace, Bob Proctor. No, you've been to that event.
Yeah.
Right? And you've been to lots of events. I've been to Tony Robbins. I walked on, I was a trainer for a company. I've been to personal development events. And I know myself, sometimes I'm like, I'm in need of one.
Yeah.
Some inspiration, etc. When you sat there in Bob Proctor's presence, where you were at in your life at that time, did you still feel there was that leap that you could still make, like quantify what you were doing? And what moment happened that made you feel that, you know what, getting out of here? I think he was telling you guys to be authors. I took the event virtual and you guys were sitting in that room.
Yeah.
People like that come to this world. Now, the reason I'm highlighting him is because someone like you needs to be highlighted for not only our demo is as a human being, bro. Like, you've really transformed in front of me and in front of the world. But some people are not seeing the places you put yourself in to be able to do so. So how was that experience with Bob Proctor? And if Bob Proctor was here today, what would you tell him?
I mean, yeah, that event was dope. It was a paradigm shift. It was dope, man. I learned so much from Bob Proctor. Read so many of his books. That event was extremely impactful. And, that event, I mean, it definitely created a huge mental shift for me. And I'll tell Bob Proctor, thank you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, the amount of belief that I've gained from his teaching is just crazy. You know what I'm saying? But there's so many other people that have mentored me from afar that, like, I wish I could just tell them thank them. Thank you, but it's like, I'm a student to this game, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never know everything. But with learning from these people, I just understand that there's so much more. There's always more. I never feel like I arrived. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never, like, till this day, I still feel like I haven't done anything.
Come on.
Like,
come on.
I promise you, bro. Like, all right, so I don't feel like it's not that I don't feel like I've done nothing, but like, I feel like I haven't done nothing that I know that I can do. Like, I know there's so much more. You feel what I'm saying? Like, there's so much more. Like, I feel like there's so much untapped potential. I feel like there's so much more I could be doing. And it's just so much more, right? Like, yeah, bro.
No, I get that. I feel like, because I really feel that you're at the beginning of the stages because you're opening doors over and over. And I feel the sentiment because I literally feel the same way about what I'm doing today. I feel like I'm almost not that I'm in shock or people are shocked of who I know. Like, you know him? You know him? I'm like, actually, I do. I actually do. Or I know someone that does. So when I start to this year say, I want this person on my platform, this person on my platform, and they're going to come to me.
Yeah.
And I see it happening because it started with one domino to another and the consistency and the effort and then looking at the people that you know. So,
love
bro.
to see it, bro.
Yeah, come on, man. And seeing you at events too, right? Like going to events and seeing that's my man, bro. He cooking, I'm cooking. It's nothing like, let me just say this to the camera. There's nothing like getting around people that you know are working on themselves. That it's like, all right, if you get in the elevator with a stranger, you can tell when they don't want to be talked to or when it's awkward. But you could also know what that feeling when you're in there with somebody who wants to give you something, who's excited to exchange that energy, even if it's for those 30 seconds. If I see you for a minute or two, I could just feel you elevating, bro.
Right.
Watching you from the gram, we know how to speak every day, and then now having you in person, it's not a coincidence. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it's 2025. I cheated here. I got the OD coaching. You know what I'm saying? Like I got the free coaching session from the man himself, bro. Look, as I want to land this plane. Rightfully so. The man who travels the world, I want to land this plane. Is there a place that you have not gone to that we will see you? I'll probably go this year. And can we just get a shout out when you do? Because you saying it here.
Yeah.
Just want to, shout out to the Living Room podcast. I said I was going to be here.
Yeah.
Where would that place be?
The Philippines.
The Philippines.
Yeah, that's been on the top of my list for a minute. Yeah.
Damn, I ain't even put that in my list, the Philippines.
I know, bro. You got to.
Sure. Yeah. Any last words for us, Kemoy? Anything you want to leave us with, bro?
Hey, listen, man. I just want to say that I appreciate you having me on, bro. You know, again, to see you speak of what, this, and then actually to see it in real form, in fruition, is dope. It's dope being a part of it.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I've seen you come a long way, bro. You've always been an inspiration to me. And just to see you continue to be an inspiration, I know you're going to do some, serious damages with this pod, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know it's going to impact a lot of people. I know you're going to get to 1 million+ subs, in a very short window of time. I already see it, bro. I already know your work ethic. I already know, your mindset. I'm just happy that I have the opportunity to be here because I know people are going to have to pay you to get on this platform. So I'm glad that, I get this opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And listen, man, if there's anything that you want to do, just do it, right? Nothing's stopping you. And to be honest with you, it's what do you have to lose? Right? What do you have to lose going after everything that you want, right? Yeah, you can fail, you can make mistakes, but so what? Right? Anybody a lot of times people care too much about what people think, right? And what I realize is most people don't think, and most people aren't living the life that they want. So it's why would you let someone else that isn't sold out on their dreams and where they want to go hold you back from you being able to live your dreams? And it's we all got something inside of us, no matter where you are in life, no matter what's in your bank account. You can have $0, -500, doesn't matter what's in it. You can literally change that in the next 90 days. You know what I'm saying? Literally. And it may sound cliche, it may sound like hype, but it's real. You just got to lock in and really invest in yourself and do what it takes. And things can change. 100%.
The one and only. The best to do it. The world traveler. The content creator.
My guy.
The one and only Kemoy Martin. Ladies and gentlemen, do what you have to do. Like, comment, subscribe, clap it up for my brother Kemoy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my boy. We're good, pal, bro. Damn, my boy.
My guy.
My brother.